Hello guys, and welcome back to the beginner to advanced HTML and CSS projects playlist or tutorials. This is the second project in this playlist, and here we are going to create a sign in and a sign up form. Okay, now all the projects that we are creating in this series are going to be responsive. I don't think I mentioned that in the first project, so you should know that all the projects that we are creating are going to be responsive, okay, meaning they are going to look good on mobile phones as well. All right, so here we have the second project, which I say is a sign in and a sign up form, just to give you a taste of how to create multiple page websites. And on mobile phone, both pages are going to look right. I'm going to leave a link in the description to the playlist so that you can check out the other videos as well. All right, we have a lot to do, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and set up our hosting and domain name. And having used or having worked with many hosting providers, the one that I always recommend for everyone is Hostinga. Now in the description of this video, you are going to find a link that's probably the first link that's going to bring you to this page, and that's an affiliate link that's going to give you the best deal for your hosting purchase. Okay, so go ahead and then click that link. That's going to bring you to this page, and if you visit this page and the design is a little different, that's because it changes from time to time, right? So this Hostinga, let's go ahead and then check out some of the hosting web hosting packages that they have. And right here is their premium shared hosting. Okay, so for only $2.80 per month, you are going to have, or you are going to be able to host 100 websites. They give you 100 gigabytes of SSD storage, as you can see here, free weekly backups. They give you free domain name. How cool is that? For most of the hosting providers, you actually buy the domain name separately. Okay, here they give you a free domain name and a free email as well. So they give you a bunch of other stuff that are very cool and very helpful as well. Right, so this is a perfect deal for me. I'm going to go ahead and then click add to carts, and as I said, make sure you use the link in the description to get the best deal on Hostinga. All right, so this is very affordable, so I'm going to go ahead and then use the 48 months. Okay, and that's going to give me the best deal. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and then enter my email. Right, so that's my email. I'm going to use PayPal. As you can see, my total is $133. Okay, now I have a coupon for you. Okay, and this is the best coupon on Hostinga. Go ahead and enter the coupon code EGATO. Okay, that's right here. Enter that and apply and see what you get. You get 10% discount. So that is a very cool deal, and this is a very reliable hosting. That is why I went ahead and then got you this very important deal. All right, so we are going to go ahead and submit our secure payment. All right, so after the payment, make sure you check out your email to finish up everything, confirm your email and all that. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and then log in. So right here, I just logged in, and I'm going to go ahead. As I said, they give you a free domain name, so you can go ahead and then claim the domain. Okay, which is really cool. On most platforms or with most hosting providers, you actually have to buy the domain name separately, which will cost you probably $10 or more, right? So the domain name I'm going to buy is Dami Egator, and I'm going to use the .com. Okay, so let me quickly check if that's actually available, and it is. Okay, so let's go ahead. As you can see here, that would cost me $14, but here they are giving it for me. They're giving it to me for free, which is really cool. Let's go ahead and then claim this domain name. Yeah, I forgot to mention, but they give us a free SSL as well, so let's go ahead and install that. Yep, and that's installing, and that's going to make sure every traffic on the website is secure. All right, so now let's proceed to work on the project. All right, so I'm in my 5 projects folder, And as you can see, this is the first project that we created. So I'm going to create a new folder and just call it 2. So this is the second project, and I'm going to open the second project in VS Code. Okay, I'm going to open this folder with VS Code. We need 2 pages, right? So we are going to create 2 HTML files. The first going to be the sign-in page, which is going to be basically the home page, right? So that is going to be the index.html. That is going to be the first file that loads when someone tries to visit our website. So this is the sign-in page. Let's create the signup.html. And make sure you don't leave space between the name of your files. Okay, don't leave space. You can use underscores, you can use dashes, but never space. Okay, so in our index.html, with emmet we can do doc tab, and it is going to generate this boilerplate. Okay, for us, I'm just going to call this sign in. That's going to be my title. And with live server, okay, which is a plugin, I mentioned that earlier as well in the first video. You can install that. We have live server and we have preview on web server as well, which are both great. So we have live server, and with that you can just click this and it's going to open this project in your default browser. And then we have preview on web server as well, which is actually what I prefer, so that's what I'm going to use. So I can just right click, scroll down, and then launch on browser, and it's going to automatically reload whenever I save this project. Okay, so it's very handy. I don't have to manually go to the browser and then click the reload button or that reload icon. Okay, so that's our project loading. We will be using some images in our project, so I'm going to create a folder called assets. Okay, and I'm going to paste the images that we need. Where's the paste? You know what, let me just drag and drop them. Okay, so let me go back to the finished project here. Just going to drag them in here. Perfect. All right, so we have some images, okay, that we will be using in this project. Perfect. And I'm going to leave a link to the images in the description, so you should check that out. Okay, so let's look at the project again and then see what's going on now. You can see we have a card, okay, that wraps around the whole thing, and you can see that card is centered in the page. Okay, so this is going to be a section, and probably we are going to give it a class of sign in, and we are going to have a left side and a right side. Okay, so this is going to be the details, and then this is going to have the logo. Okay, so let's go back and then do that real quick. So here we are going to have a section with a class of sign in. All right, now I'm going to have an article tag, and I'm going to give that a class of sign in details. Okay, so this is going to be the left side. I'm going to duplicate that with shift alt and then the down arrow, and this is going to be the logo. Okay, so the left side and then the right side right here. Now let's work on the left side first. And looking at the finished project, we have a heading, a paragraph, or probably a small tag, and then the form itself. Okay, so let's quickly do that. We have an H1 that says sign in, and below that we have a paragraph, then shows. All right, now below that we have our form, and let's actually give this a class of sign in underscore form. Okay, you don't need an action because you're not using any backend or anything like that. Now inside the form we are going to have, looking at the finished project, we have a label and an input for each field. Okay, so let's have a label. Actually, let's have a div that wraps around the label and the input. Okay, and we are going to call this form control. And I'm being generic with this class name because I will be using it in the sign up form as well. Okay, so we could actually name this sign in form control or something like that to be specific, but we will be using it. It's almost like a general class that we are setting here. Okay, so we are going to have a label, and then there's going to be for the email. We are going to have an input of email, and because we have a label and the for is email, we should have an ID as well. ID of email. Okay, so it should match the for of the label. Now this is going to say email, and the placeholder for this is going to be enter your email. Perfect. All right, now I can go ahead and duplicate this one more time. It's going to be for password, and lastly enter your password. Looking at the finished project again, you can see we have this remember for 30 days and forgot password and all that. So we first have this input, this text, and then this link, okay, to reset our password or something like that. Okay, before we have our buttons. Okay, so let's work on this. Let's put that inside. So that's going to be below this form control. I'm going to give this a class of sign in extras, and we first have a div, just a div. Okay, and that is going to be the input of checkbox, no name, and let's actually give this an ID of remember. I'm going to give it a label, and that's going to be remember to match this ID. Okay, now I'm going to say remember for 30 days. After the div, I'm going to have a link, and that's not going to go anywhere, but it's going to say forgot password. Perfect. Now below this sign in extras, we are going to have our buttons, okay, to submit our form. Let's give this a class of btn primary. Okay, and this is going to be a type of button, sorry, a type of submit, so that we can submit our form. It's going to say sign in. Below this button, we are going to have another button that's going to be the Google login. Let's give this a class of btn, and inside this we are going to have first our image. That's looking at the finished project. We have an image and a text. Okay, let's enter our assets folder and then grab the Google PNG, and next to our img tag we are going to have a paragraph that says sign in with Google. Below our form we are going to have a small tag. Let's actually give this a class of next page, and there is going to have that text that says already have an account, or sorry, don't have an account, sign up. Okay, so that's the text. So it is going to say don't have an account, and then we are going to have a link, an anchor tag that's going to take us to the sign up.html. All right, so let's check what we have. Pretty ugly, but we are going to change this, okay, using CSS. Perfect. So this is what we have. This is all for the markup. Actually, we haven't worked on the sign in logo, so in here we are just going to have a div, and we are going to have an image in here that is going to be inside the assets. We have this logo PNG. That's it for the HTML for the sign in page. Okay, so quickly, you know what, let's link our style sheets. We are going to add our CSS. So what did we name it? Okay, we don't have our CSS file, so let's create that real quick. And I'm going to name that style.css. You can name it whatever you want, but it should have the .css extension. All right, so we should link that to our pages. First, the sign in page. We are going to do link, and with image you can just type link, okay, and then do tab or enter, and it's going to give you this. And then straight ahead you can link to your file, which is style.css. As usual from my other projects, you know I'm going to use CSS variables since it is very convenient to use. So let's have some root variables here, mainly the colors. So we are first going to have color white, which is FFF. We have color light. Okay, so this is how you name CSS variables. Okay, starts with 2 dashes and then the name of the variable. The dashes are a part of the variable. All right, now we have F3, F4, F8. That's the next one. And I have a lot of variables, so I'm just going to paste it. And I have a variable here for my transitions as well. All right, let me actually make this 300 milliseconds. Perfect. Okay, nothing changes, of course, which is normal. And I actually want to put this side by side so that, yeah, so that we kind of see what's going on in the browser. All right, now I'm going to target every element on the page, and as you can see, some elements by default come with borders. As you can see, this image has a border. Some elements have, like the anchor tag, have a text decoration, which is just underline. Some have, you know, outlines and all that. So I usually zero these things out. Okay, so let's first target the margin. Some elements have margins. Okay, you can see the space here. So I'm going to zero out the margin. You can see the margins are gone, the patterns as well. So this means every element on my page should have these styles. Okay, should be zeroed out. So the patterns are gone as well. Now I'm going to set the box sizing, which is very important. Okay, to border box sizing to border box. Make sure every single website that you create with CSS you have this style or this property set, and it's going to prevent overflows for some elements. Okay, so let's say I explained this in the first video, so you can actually go back and then, or of course you can read more about it. Okay, the next I'm going to set outlines to be 0, borders to be 0, text decoration to be none, and list style to be none as well. You know what, we are actually not going to have another list or any list item, so this should be okay. All right, so you can see we have a clean slate, okay, which is perfect. I'm going to move on and get the body, and I'm going to give it a font family. Okay, I don't like this font, so we are going to get some fonts from Google. All right, so let's search Google fonts, and I don't know what I'm going to use, probably Poppins, not sure. Yep, I have some Poppins fonts already, but let's see. I don't like the Montserrat. Those. Okay, so you can search Poppins. You can see I already have it, but you can search Poppins, click on it, and then select the ones that you want. Okay, so I started from the 300 font width, 400, and all of that. Okay, so you can select them. You just click them, as you can see here, and yeah. In this case, I'm going to use the CSS import. Okay, you can copy this, and that's what I did in the previous video. I copied this link and then pasted it in my HTML file. So you could do that as well, and then paste it in your HTML head. Okay, so like here you just paste it. But since these two files are going to, that's these two HTML files are going to use the same CSS, I think it's a better idea to use the CSS, okay, so that you don't repeat yourself. So I'm going to copy this import that's between the style closing and opening tag. I'm going to copy that, come back to my project, and on top of everything on the CSS file, I'm going to paste my import, my font import. Okay, now let's go back, and this is the font family style. I will just copy this, come back to my project, and that's the font family for the text on my body. So I save this, come back to our project, and now you can see our font has changed. Okay, there's a before. Let me comment this out. There's a before and there's the after. Perfect. Now let's move on, and I'm going to give our body a background of the color BG. Sorry, the color body BG. Okay, and this is how you use the CSS variables. The text color is going to be the color dark. The font size is going to be 0.9 rem, and rem is a unit. I mentioned this earlier in the previous video. That's the first video as well. So 0.9 rem means 0.9 times 16 pixels, right? So you do the math. That's going to be the font size of the text of the body. Okay, all right, now let's see. So let's actually display grid. Okay, I want the section, which is a direct child of the body, I want it to be centered. As you can see, is right in the middle of the page, right? So the easiest way to do it is to display grid on the parent of that element. So the parent of this section, let me show you real quick. The parent of this section is the body. Okay, so I display grid on the parent and place items to the center, and that's going to put it right in the middle. At least you can see it's horizontally centered. It's going to be vertically centered as well when we resize the image and all that. Now I'm going to have some more general styles. Okay, so we had a BTN class added to so that means every button on the page is going to have that class. Okay, and some are going to be primary, some are going to just be you know what, remove this. So it's going to be BTN. Some is going to have the primary class as well, and others are going to have just the BTN class. Okay, so let's have these styles. Now first I'm going to have some style for our image. Every image should be displayed block, and they should have 100% of the appearance width, and also I'm going to give them an object fit of cover. Okay, so we have this, and I'm going to target our H1 and also give it a color of, you know what, I'm not going to give it a color. I think this color, no, let me give it a color of color black. Font size is going to be 2 rem. I'm going to give it a margin bottom of 0.3 rem. Perfect. Now I'm going to target that BTN class and display flex. Align items to the center. I'm going to justify content to the center as well, and also give it a gap of 0.7 rem. I'm going to give it a padding of 0.8 rem for the top and bottom, and then 1.5 rem for the left and right. Border radius of 0.5 rem, and I'm going to give it a cursor of pointer, okay, for it to look clickable. And as you can see, we're having some style for our button right here. Okay, I thought we had 2 buttons. What's wrong? Okay, so this one is also a button, but the styles are not really working because of the big image. Okay, we can't really see the change because of the image, but of course I'm going to get to that. I will resize that image when I get there. You know what, let me do that right now. So let me get the, I'm just going to get the image inside the button and give it a width of 1.2 rem. Perfect. So now we have this. Now I'm going to have some hover effect for our buttons. Okay, but first for the button, you know, we gave another class of primary. For those, we are going to have a background of the primary color, and the color or the text color is going to be white. Okay, so we have that right here. Now let's have some hover effects for the buttons as well. So on hover, I want the background to be color. I want that to be color black, and the text color is going to be white. Okay, so on hover we have this. Now you can see it changes too fast. Okay, I want a transition. Okay, so that it smoothly transitions from this color, that's for instance the blue to the black. Okay, that's for the background. And so on this btn class, I'm going to have a transition, and I have a variable transition up top, as you can see here. That's all. So all properties that is being changed should have the transition, 300 milliseconds for the duration, and the timing function is going to be easy. Let me leave a comment here. The sign-in page. Okay, so these styles that I'm going to have is going to be particular to the sign-in page, although some are going to take effect on the sign-up page as well. Let's get the section with the class of sign in. Okay, now I'm going to give that a background of color white and give it a width of, I don't know, 60 rem. Save it. And what is going on? Okay. Oh, okay. So I was wondering why the section wasn't well centered, and that's because of this image. Okay, and yeah, that makes sense, right? The image was kind of hidden because it matches the background of the body, but now I see things clearly. Okay, so I'm going to display a grid here as well, and the grid template columns is going to be 1FR 1FR. Okay, so now it is actually centered. I'm going to align items to the center and give it a border radius of 1 rem. I'm actually going to give it an overflow of heading. Okay, perfect. Now let's work on this part. Okay, that's the details part. So sign in underscore details. You know, we had the left side to be the details, which is this, and the right side to be the logo, right? So now, for now, we are working on the details right here. Okay, so I'm actually going to give it a padding of 2 rem for the top and bottom, and then 4 rem for the left and right. For now, that's all about it. Now I'm going to get the form. So sign in form, and I'm going to display this to be flex. Flex direction is going to be column, and have a gap of 1 rem. Okay, so this is what we have. Let's actually give it a margin top of 3 rem so that it pushes it from the paragraph that we had. Okay, so a margin top of 3 rem. Okay, so that separates this title and the caption from the actual form. I hope that makes sense. Now let's get the form underscore control, and that's for each field. Okay, remember we had a div that wraps around the label and the input, and give that a class of form control, right? let's grab that and display flex. The flex direction is going to be column, and give it a gap of 0.5 rem. So we save, and this is what we have. Now the inputs, let's target them, and yeah, let's target the inputs. Okay, so any inputs on the page, input, any input but not the checkbox. Okay, these styles that I'm going to write shouldn't apply to this checkbox. It's also one input, but I don't want it to take this style. So every input but not the checkbox. So type is equal to checkbox. I hope that makes sense, right? Let's give them a width of 100%, border 1 pixel, solid color, body PG. We save. This is what we have. Let's add a padding. 0.7 rem should be good, and a border radius 0.5 rem. We save, and this is our input. Perfect, not too bad. All right, now let's go on, and I'm going to target the placeholders. Okay, so input, sorry, not a class, input placeholder. I'm going to give those very light color BG. Okay, so the background color, that's very light. And now let's target the label. So every label should have a font weight of 500, and a color of color black. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to get the sign-in extras. That's what I named it. Let's see real quick, and that has this checkbox, this text, and this link. Okay, so let's display flex, justify content to be space between, and that should be enough. Yeah, perfect. The div inside that sign-in extra, which has the inputs and then this paragraph or so. Let's see from the HTML real quick. So yeah, we have a div that has this input and then this label. Okay, let's target that. Yep, so in our CSS sign in extra or extras, the div inside of it, we are going to display flex and give it a gap of 0.5 rem. I'm also going to align items to the center. Perfect. Now I'm going to target the, let me actually go up and have some general styles for all links. Okay, so if it's active as well, a style should apply, and if it's visited as well, the style should apply. So the color is going to be the color primary, and the font weight is going to be 500. All right, now let's scroll back down, and I think we are pretty much good to go. I'm not sure, but yeah, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. All right, now let's target, I'm going to target this, okay, which is the next page. Okay, we had a small tag at the bottom, right here, with a class of next page. So let's target that, and next, actually let me give that 2 underscores. Okay, so that I am consistent with the classes. So next page, let's see, I'm going to give that a margin top of 1 rem. I'm going to align that to the center and display block. Perfect. And that's what we have. Now let's do something about this section, which is the sign in logo section. Okay, so sign in underscore logo. I'm going to bring this to the right. First, I'm going to display grid, place items to the center so that I have my image right in the middle. Give it a background. Okay, there's going to be a textured background. I have a texture image right here that I'm going to use, but also I'm going to give it a color background, which is going to be the color primary. Okay, and the height is going to be 100%. Now I save and I have this. Now if you want, you can resize the image, but I think this is not too bad. Yeah, you know what, let me actually do that. So sign in logo, the div inside of it, I'm going to give it a width of 22 rem and an aspect ratio of 1:1. Perfect. Now this looks better. Okay, now this button is too far away from this one, so let me grab that real quick before the next page. I'm going to grab the I think this style is going to apply on the sign up form as well. Now most of these styles are going to apply on the sign up form, since we are going to link this style to this file. Okay, and most of these classes I'm going to use them on that page as well, so that we don't have to have a separate file or a whole different style for that. And so this button, I'm just going to grab the last button on the page, and that's going to be the Google button. Okay, sign in with Google. All right, and it's just, I'm just going to push it up a little bit. So margin top of negative 0.5 rem should push it up, as you can see. So there's not too much space between them now, which is perfect. Okay, so we are basically done with our sign in page. Okay, now for our sign up, there's nothing here. We are going to work on that, but we are done with our sign in page. What we have to do is to make it responsive before we even move on to the sign up page. Okay, so let's quickly make this responsive. Come on. All right, so media queries for small screens, for mobile phones basically. Now at media screen, come on, I'm going to do a maximum width of 600 pixels. So any device that has the width below 600 pixels or 600 pixels and below is going to have the styles that we are going to have in here, right? So just for us to see, you know what, so let me just go straight to the point. Okay, let me grab the body, and in here I'm going to display its block. Okay, on desktops it was displayed grid, but here I'm going to display block, and the background I'm actually going to make that white. I'm going to move on to change the size of our heading 1. I'm going to make that 1.5 rem. I'm going to get the sign in section. So the section with the sign in class, and the grid template columns is going to be one of our. So it's going to have the full width, and let me give it a width of 100 viewport width, and also an overflow of visible. Perfect. The reason why I'm giving it a width of the full width of the screen is because here we actually changed it. it was around 60 rem on desktops. Okay, so here, and as you can see, the overflow was set to hidden. Okay, so here I'm setting the width to be 100 viewport width and the overflow. Right, now let's grab the details, the sign in details, and I'm going to give it a grid row of 2 3. Okay, so that's going to change the position and put that below the image. So the image is going to come before the details or the form. Okay, let's actually give it a pattern. I'm going to change the pattern to 2 rem for the top and bottom, and then 1 rem for the left and right. Come on, we save this. What we have, yeah. Now let's get the form, and the margin top is going to be 1.5 rem. Let me give it a gap of 1 rem. Perfect. So this is what we have now. All right, now I'm going to get the sign in extras, and in here the flex direction is going to be column, and the gap is going to be 0.8 rem. Yep, let me actually give it a margin bottom of 1 rem as well. Perfect. Let me target the logo as well. I think it's too big. Let me resize it on mobile. So sign in logo, let me just give it a padding of 1.5 rem. 1.5 rem for the top and bottom, and 0 for the left and right should be good. And I'm going to get the div that wraps around the image. Okay, give it a width of 10 rem, and this should be all right. This should be perfect, exactly how we want it. You could play around with these values to get exactly what you want. Okay, but I think 12 isn't bad. Okay, so we are done with our sign-in page. We are totally done with our sign-in page. The next is going to be a sign up, which is going to be very easy since we have almost all the styles here. Okay, so we will just link our style sheet to this and it will be good to go. All right, so I'm just going to copy everything from the sign in page or the index HTML and then paste it in here on the sign up page. Right, I'm just going to change the title to sign up and this heading to sign up as well, and I'm going to say fill the form below to create your account. All right, now the first thing is going to be the name, the full name. So duplicate this, say full name, let's say enter your full name. There's going to be email, of course, and I am not going to have the okay, so we have name, email right here. We have the password. We should have confirm password as well. C password, and I'm just going to say confirm password. Right, confirm your password. Now these extras are not going to be here on the sign up page. Okay, this button is going to say sign up, and let's see, sign up with Google. Don't have an account, or here we are going to say already have an account. Sign in. which is going to be the index.html. All right, so we have our form here with the full name. We have, so this is actually going to be text. The type is going to be text, sorry. We have the email, we have the password, we have the confirm password, and we have our buttons. Okay, so everything is good to go. Now let me quickly check from the finished project. Okay, so for the sign up, yep, right, so let me close this and let's click to go to the sign up page, and everything is done. So now that we are done coding our project, let's go ahead and deploy it. Okay, we are going to upload our website files for it to be accessible all over the world. Okay, so we bought our hosting and claimed our domain name in the beginning of the video. So we are going to go ahead and log in into our hosting H panel. So let's just go to manage. And here in my case, I have multiple accounts, multiple domains, sorry. So I'm going to select the one that I claimed. That was Damigator, right? And we are going to go ahead and click file manager there. All right, you should have public_html folder, and this way our project is going to live. Okay, and I have some stuff here. Ignore this, and this way we are going to upload our website files. Okay, if you have any folders here by default, you can just select them. You can select them all and then delete them. Okay, if you have anything here, this should be an empty folder. So if you have anything here, just select them and then delete. What we are going to do is to go back to our project folder. So we are going to select everything inside of that project and then drag and drop them in here. So now if we should visit our website, that's damigator.com, it should be live. Okay, so we can go to our sign up page as well. The media queries is working perfectly as well. Okay, so I think that's the end of the project. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.